Today we're checking out what's in Water Museum's current project, About Fishing. About Fishing is a Lynchian and Sega Bass Fishing inspired fishing game with an interesting story and very fun gameplay. Wishlist About Fishing on Steam. Like and sub to the Northern Gaming Club, grab your pole, and let's check out some things and stuff in About Fishing. Alright, Northerners, I'd like to begin by drawing your attention to this beautifully handmade floor tapestry. It shows this orderly traveling school of fish coming to a head at this gorgeous hardwood handmade spiraled staircase leading this school of fish into the unknown floors above. The way the spiraled staircase wraps itself around the light, you can see how this location, a place like this, can feel like a true place of worship, a sanctuary. You will also notice the mosaic style parquet flooring, identified by its alternating wood green texture. I don't know if the word applies or not, maybe I'm misusing it, but I want to say like a cross, it's like a cross thatching. Wow. We also have these breathtaking Baroque 1800s Victorian inspired handmade, most likely, doorways accented by their ornate paneling and decorative medallions. Outside the city we find a small church, decorated with Gothic fixtures, peaked windows, and stick-style paneling. Let's take a quick glance inside the church, as it were. There's a stillness, a tenuous respite of faith, as it were. If you peep the stained glass, you'll notice 3 saints. Of the 12 apostles, 4 were fishermen by trade. As it's shown here, I believe, St. Peter, carrying the keys to heaven. And the crest, depicting a fishing vessel, I believe is either James or John Zebedee. Both recruited while casting net from their fishing boat together along the Sea of Galilee. And the third apostle depicted in glass, St. Andrew, putting a fat-ass Galileo tilapia in his handmade fishing creel. However, this space is no longer as it appears to be, presently depicted as a prison. Could this change have been made to represent our protagonist and supporting character's state of mind, rather than a physical change. The way the old priest describes giving Joshua the goldfish away without permission could potentially refer to her role as a priest and the sanctity of confessional. After all, in the flashback between the priest and Gwamps, we see her recall an interaction. She remembers something in disbelief, partially stating how she didn't think they would actually. Maybe the guilt isn't from breaking her oath, but from honoring it. Probably didn't miss this next area if you played the demo. Gramps' room. Accessed after fishing a key from the outside toilet. I believe it's insinuated that the grandpa has had the key to his bedroom hidden up his ass. He's had this key up his ass for years, just waiting for the perfect moment. In the Grandpa's room, once we're in there, we actually find some really cool physics-based game assets. There's a Dreamcast you can mess with and jiggle, and there are also some key items like scissors that lead to other key items, like the mermaid tail that advance the story and the plot. And this also includes, this wall-mounted bass. Including this wall-mounted bass and a gun. I also wanted to point out the wall paneling in this room. I think it's cedar, which isn't totally hydrophobic, but it is very water resistant, so it's a good hunting cabin, fishing shack type building material. And we can actually find cedar trees right outside the church. These large cedar and Japanese cypress trees. I also wanted to point out these little flowers. The ones with the white petals. I believe they are Nippon daisies, which are native to Japan, that thrive in full sun environments, but can also grow in part shade as well. They prefer dry soil, so being this close to a water source and in a more forest, river, valley, where there's more of a part shade environment, we might not see a daisy here, but we could. We are more likely to find probably a more native, we're more likely to find a native flower like the Japanese iris water hemlock, which is super toxic, or a woodland primrose, all of which survive in part shade and damp environments. You might have also missed the dev state on Twitter that the game is actually set in a Florida/Japanese fishing area. And I wasn't thinking Florida at first. I thought it was more based on the Kii Peninsula of Japan due to the dense forest and mountainy geography. But clarifying that it may have some Floridian roots opens up the in-game world to so many more fish species and location opportunities like the Florida mangrove forests or the Keys, the Everglades. Imagine catching a fucking alligator. The Gulf Coast, Atlantic Ocean. Not to mention these areas already included in the current setting type of the game: the Sea of Japan, the Pacific Ocean, the East China Sea. Which, to me, so all of this, it's a game changer that they announced that, because it opens up, as a gamer, that sounds like replayability, more content. Lastly, with the Florida location confirmed, I can now factually, scientifically state that this is definitely a subtle Grand Theft Auto 6 reference here. Well, that's some stuff and whatever from the About Fishing demo, a lo-fi indie fishing adventure game with some very fun gameplay mechanics, an interesting and equally intriguing and interesting story, lovely lo-fi visual elements, and so much room for growth. I should mention some things that I didn't like. The fish tank needed a little tweaking. I had some troubles moving fish from the tackle box to the fish tank. I just kind of lose them if I tried to exit too early or anything like that. The story can be hard to follow. The last thing I didn't really like is I don't like pee doo-doo. I'm not a shit joke. I don't like shit jokes. I didn't like the porta potty. I didn't like fishing through shit. Otherwise, I love the game. If you're a fisherman by trade, this is definitely one to keep an eye on. Check out the demo for About Fishing on Steam. I'm not sure how much longer it will be available for download, so hurry up. Please also like and sub to the Northern Gaming Club too, and always wear a life jacket.